Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. This is a channel where I look at the Pokemon cards, primarily focusing on the artwork. Today's video is an artist's showcase on the work of one of the newer artists in Pokemon. And this is an artist called Nisimono, who has been also known as Minato, I think. But they go by the name Nisimono for illustrating Pokemon cards. And they've been working with Pokemon since June of 2023, and they have done 10 cards. So let us have a look at the artwork. Sorry, that's probably too close. There we go. The first cards that they were commissioned to paint are 3 from the set 151. And that's the Weedle, the Kakuna, and the Breloom. And at 151, the same artist was given. Actually, we won't use the reverse foils because you've got the reflection that doesn't. Let me just get these two out. Bear with me. Right. So yes, in 151, the same artist was given the whole line of an evolution. So Nissimono's first commission was the Weedle line, or the Breloom line. We have the Weedle, Kakuna, and Breloom. And you instantly get a feel for their style here. Very painterly, very soft pastel colours. The Pokemon is finely outlined to lift it from the background illustration. But there's just as much care put into the backgrounds and the lighting and the use of shadow to give a really three-dimensional image. Quite often the views are from interesting angles. This one's looking down, and there's a lot of personality in the Pokemon, even in something that doesn't easily have personality like Kakuna. Beautiful use of lilac and creamy yellow for the sky here, complementary colours. They do a lot of these trees in their illustration that are very beautifully painted, understanding the way light falls on organic structures like that. So these came out in June of 2023 in the Japanese set, and later in the English set. I think it was August. Got a downward perspective here with the trunks of the trees disappearing down to the ground. Beautifully painted cards. So those are the first 3. The next one, the fourth one, is a bit of an anomaly because there's no Japanese print of this Arcanine. This Arcanine was in the English exclusive My First Battle, which came out in September of 2023. It's my least favourite of Nissimono's artworks. I do like Arcanine a lot. They've pushed the perspective here to try and create a sense of Arcanine coming forward. So you've got a very large paw and a very small head. It doesn't quite work for me. I just feel Arcanine looks very small-headed and odd on the illustration of Arcanine. I also don't think this successfully works. This use of blast effect on the grass colour here to create movement. They're intending to create movement of Arcanine running forward at us, but my eyes interpret that as the other direction, like Arcanine being sucked backwards. Although his fur is suggesting otherwise. But the direction of those lines is counterintuitive to my brain. They should be going somehow the other way. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't quite work for me. I think the colours are not as interesting in this. The green's too vibrant, the sky's too bright blue. It doesn't fit with their normal painting style. But it's their choice. It's not a bad card. It's nice enough, but it's certainly the least forgettable one, and there isn't a Japanese print of that. The next 2 cards came out in the same set. They were in Future Flash of October 2023. Yes, 2 years ago. I prefer the Gorggeist to the Steelix, even though the Steelix is an art rare. They were both in Paradox Rift in English in November of 23. But we're looking at the Japanese prints here today. So what they've done with Gorggeist here is done a very symmetrical image, straight on center of the image, looking down with this reflection in the water that's distorted, backlit, creates a very ominous feeling of this haunted forest behind. It's beautiful color choices, great lighting, really excellent piece of painting. Very, very strong illustration. Love it. The Steelix, on the other hand, I just find it a bit of a pedestrian scene. We've had a few of these sort of art rares of Pokemon interacting in very urban environments. There's that timber on a roof somewhere. There's probably others, but yeah, Pokemon helping out with human activity. The little figures are very cartoony. If you look at Nissimono's work away from Pokemon, this is far more typical of how they do representations. Very cartoonish little figures. Steelix is, it's a great Pokemon, really great design Pokemon. There are so many good Steelix cards, and I like the more dramatic ones. This is a very sedate, calm image of Steelix, being stoical and just standing there. But it's beautifully painted. The perspectives are great. Yep, not a bad card. Pleasant. The next card, that was Future Flash Paradox Rift. Yeah, we did. I think I said that. The next card is my favourite by quite some way. I absolutely adore this card. It was one of the cards of the year for me last year. And this is Lickitung from Cyber Judge in January of 2024. Came out in English in Temporal Forces of March of 2024. And it's just beautiful. This jungly, ferny, almost like a temperate rainforest type environment. Beautiful. The blurring of the dark backlit leaves in the foreground. But the representation of Lickitung is just brilliant. Sitting there looking at the camera off to one side of the card so that environment and Pokemon both get their turn in the spotlight, as it were. It's just lovely. That light is lovely coming through the leaves. And it's a great representation of a Pokemon I'm very fond of, actually. Lickitung, I mean, it's original Gen 1 Pokemon. Bit of an anomalous Pokemon. We didn't have an evolution back then, and it was a very strange way you got it back in Generation 1. But there we are. I think that's just lovely, lovely artwork. So that's Lickitung from Cyber Judge. The 8th card is the Tadbulb, which came out in Crimson Haze of March 2024 and was in Twilight Masquerade in May of 2024. Lovely. I mean, this has got interesting choices of colours, almost psychedelic, disturbed choices of colours, but they go beautifully together, creating a very odd light environment with this almost like thunderclouds breaking and shafts of light coming down. It's not a Pokemon I have any real interest in, and actually it has association of trauma for me if you've ever tried shiny hunting it in Scarlet and Violet, because it's very hard to see the shiny. But I think it's a beautifully done card. Again, you've got this dark, blurry foreground that Nissimono has done in several of the cards. You've got it here, and you've got it here. So you're looking into a scene from an area of darkness into the spotlight of the Pokemon in the environment. It's really beautifully done. Excellent. The 9th card is Cynthia's Roselia, or Shironano Roselia. Shironano Roselia. And this came out in Heatwave Arena of March 2025 and will be in Destined Rivals of May 25. Lovely environment background with this sort of ruined city or whatever that the trees are growing up through, and the way that the petals on Roselia's hands have been painted is just beautiful. It's not a Pokemon I particularly like. I like its evolution, and I think that's very dramatic, but back when there was just Roselia, it was always a bit of a weak, pointless Pokemon to me. Yeah. Very, very nice. And the most recent one, which will also be in Destined Rivals, but came out in the glory of Team Rocket in April, last month, is the Breloom, a favourite Pokemon of mine, known as Kinogasa, which is to do with it being a mushroom with an umbrella head, hence the Breloom. Absolutely joyful card, very similar sort of use of the way they're painting the trees in the background that you see in some of the other works, if you compare. It's just, I mean, it has the advantage of being such a beautifully designed Pokemon with those cute little front legs, paws and hands, whatever. Very joyful often in its expression. But the colour in this is just beautiful. These little pops of rose red in the flowers reflected in the hands and feet. And yeah, it's just a lovely card. The colour balance of that card is just so good. And the very loose style of the painterly background with the nicely edged in black pen outlined, bringing Breloom out of the card. So yeah, a very, very strong set of cards, distinctive style, and something I'm very, very fond of. 10 cards so far, hopefully many more to come. Yeah, a great artist, one of several really good artists. The next video I'll do will be probably later in the week. I'm going to try and do a overview of the two sets, the Glory of Team Rocket and Heatwave Arena, that are going to be in Destined Rivals, focusing on my favourite artworks, etc. But for now, that is an artist video on the work of Nissimono.